Today I finished my California trip toy hunt series. This is the toy hunting about Frankensons, which is an indoor collectible show that my partner and I only just discovered a few months ago, and luckily for us, we happened to be headed near there while we were traveling to Disney in December. We'd actually punched in the wrong address at first, which was very scary when you're a tourist that doesn't have any roaming data, but some amazing construction workers who happened to be on site that day knew exactly where it was that we were wanting to go. They were able to help us sort out an Uber, and we found ourselves finally at the correct building. This was a really special visit for two people from NZ. We ended up staying here for quite a few hours actually, which wasn't the original plan. We seriously thought that we'd only be here for maybe 2 hours and then catch a movie, but I think we stayed here for around 5 or so hours. And I can't tell you the amount of times that I've gone away from home with the mindset of, hey, maybe I'll be able to find this niche toy from this special line that I love, and obviously that wish never comes true. Here at Frankensons, I think I actually found a toy for every single line that I've ever wanted in my life, which was also really scary because it meant that I was going to have to make some very tough choices. Immediately there were a lot of really interesting secondhand items in these glass cabinets all over the place, but you do run the risk of not having all of those accessories. I had to kind of overlook this entire section at the end. I also found it very frustrating how many items here don't have prices on them, and as that eventually became the case for a lot of items, my partner and I decided our rule was going to be that we just simply walk away. Seller right at the front here had some amazing stuff on display. You can see there were just so many toys from the last few years, but also toys from when I was a kid. An insane feeling to see them all again. Some notable entries here: I got to see some new Ninja Turtle figures from Wave 2, which looked really great. The Spider-Man and X-Men figures were all over the place, and everyone had varying different prices for each figure. These guys had this middle section here that was just really fun to look at, but if I recall correctly, I think the prices were pretty egregious, so again, just want to kind of look around and found this other seller with an entire wall of discounted items. It was all really right up my alley, but I had to be careful with my choices here just because of space for our luggage. I really love seeing these Black Series figures on the shelves like this, but then I found the Grail, which was the Indiana Jones line, a line that I had been hunting for the entire trip. They actually did have Series 3 figures, and all priced at 25 USD each, so 40 NZD, which is $15 cheaper than the standard price here. Also, Series 3 was never sold in NZ, so these immediately crept up in my list. These glass walls of Legends and Black Series figures and Build-A-Figure parts, just good lord, I just never thought I would see something like this, and I have to wonder what kind of a nightmare it is to have to sort through all of this for your inventory. Some cool finds along the ways as well, like this Invader Zim toy, which was very expensive. That ends up being around 180 NZD, so it was a hard pass on that. We'd have to regularly remind ourselves that we do need to recalculate everything that we see here. It's very dangerous and easy to get overexcited here. I could just tell that I was going to be buying some Black Series and Legends figures here, so I had to be really careful about the prices of these things. And we were still on our Disney rush here, so anything that we spotted from the parks immediately caught our attention. Some more Hasbro figures and some pretty brutal prices. That's 57 NZD for that Ahsoka and 65 NZD for that Vader. Figures that I bought for significantly cheaper prices. NECA figures spotted, and they were also really cool to see, but no prices were labeled on any of them, so we didn't bother asking. It honestly helped us with our decision making in the end to just eliminate anything that didn't have prices, but let that be known to any Frankensons sellers here. I'm using some of the footage here because we actually did end up leaving Frankensons for a little bit. We became so overwhelmed with everything that was going on, we needed to leave a little and kind of rethink our day plans. We headed to the nearest Target, and I didn't film any of it because again, we were just so preoccupied and focused on getting Frankensons done. We went to an ATM and we got some cash out so that I wouldn't have to keep on paying these transaction fee fines. So we headed back, and our new plan was to go back through the main aisles and grab everything that I really wanted at the lowest price out of fear that someone would grab them before us. So this person had some Misc toys from my childhood, but then I found a Peter Petrelli figure for $20, well that's around 32 NZD, and I had only just recently filmed and edited a video about the Mezco Heroes line, so I wanted him to add to that collection. I also grabbed the VHS pack of Green Goblin and Mary Jane, but I did forget to film it. In fact, there is a couple of other purchases that I did just forget to film because I was just feeling so overwhelmed. I regret not getting some of these Revenge of the Sith toys here now. These were the first toys I ever got from a Star Wars movie, so I do have a personal attachment to the Revenge of the Sith line. Disney popcorn buckets and sipper cups as well. I don't know how many people out there actually care about this stuff as much as I do, but I do really like seeing these things around. It doesn't seem like it would be a Frankensons video without filming the top statues that look out over at everyone. Seeing these World of Springfield figures on display just felt like cruelty as well. I really love that line so much, and I wish I had an easier access to more of them. By this point we were ready to head out and pick up the final items. I went back and I grabbed the Dr. Henry Jones figure, who was one of the hot items that I've been keeping my eyes out for. I also bought the unnecessary Indy figure because it's just not likely that I'll get to see Indiana Jones toys again in my lifetime. And one quick look at the Legends figures, but I didn't see anything for me really. However, I did spot a Hera at the Black Series section, so I am glad that I double checked. Only 25 USD each, which I know is the standard price for the US audience, but I was really happy with that because standard price there in the US is cheaper than the standard price in NZ, and stock wise these three figures as of January 2024 when I'm recording this, they still haven't been sold here. And I felt bad about this, but back at the front section at the very start, these very kind sellers had a World of Springfield March pack that was buried very high up on their shelves. It was a set that I had made amends that I would never find, but I managed to find it for a pretty good price as well, and they offered it to me for less than what they were asking for originally, so yes, I took that deal, and I finally now have the Simpsons family complete in the World of Springfield line. This section here we looked at was the massive stand selling items from just about everything that I've ever cared about in my life. Even watching this back on replay, I'm still seeing things that's leaving me amazed again. Toys from stuff that wouldn't be popular on this channel if I made videos on them. Basically Matrix, Watchmen, there's Halo, Tron, I see Hellboy there as well. It was really insane to see, and thankfully they were wanting way too much money for all of these toys, so it was very easy to just look at them and put them back without even considering buying anything. I found another place with some more Hasbro figures, and they had some store exclusive Indiana Jones figures for very cheap actually. I shouldn't have to clarify this, but these exclusive figures here definitely have never been sold in this country, so for only 15 USD I was able to get the Professor Indy figure, and he felt incredibly light for a Hasbro figure, so this is just me checking that he actually did have everything inside his packaging, and to my surprise he was actually still sealed in box here. And now we were finally good to head out. I had bought a lot more than I originally thought I was going to buy, but I'm really happy with all my purchases. I was able to cross off a lot of really heavily desired items from my list, which I still can't believe I was able to do. By this point it was headed into the evening time, so it was definitely time to head back home. This is me back at the hotel here. I did buy some figures loose after deciding whether or not I would. I bought a Zeb and Kanan figure. Zeb was a pretty good price, Kanan wasn't really. They both included their accessories, and now that I have a Hera complete, I do have the full Rebels crew, so it's just kind of the novelty of doing that. I also bought the Ahsoka Black Series figure because she has been delayed indefinitely here in NZ. Add the 3 Indiana Jones figures into the mix. I am really happy to come away with at least some characters from Series 3. I really wish I could have found that Grail Knight though. The Goblin and Mary Jane VHS pack, really excited to have a Green Goblin for my display. Peter Petrelli, who is the first non-Hasbro figure of the bunch here, and then finally we end on another non-Hasbro toy, the Playmates World of Springfield Marge and Maggie set. Honestly, I just feel relief after finding that one. It's a really great haul for me, all important in my eyes, so I'm really thankful to have all of these. And that finally wraps up my toy hunt series on my December visit to California. If you've watched all these episodes, I really appreciate the support. If you've missed any, I traveled to LA Comic Con and to Disneyland in search for Black Series, Marvel Legends, Indiana Jones, Simpsons, and NECA toys, so be sure to check out those videos. And I also traveled around the California area looking for McFarlane figures at Targets, so be sure to check out those videos as well. Liking that video and subscribing does help to support this channel and making more videos like this one. Thank you very much everyone, I hope to see you in the next video.